Live from the Hive in Billings, Montana, I'm Jake Letman alongside Austin Schilling for tonight's conference matchup between the Montana State University Billings Yellow Jackets and the visiting Crusaders from Northwest Nazarene University. Austin, the Yellow Jackets come into tonight's game hot as they've won their last 3 home games here. Their last game coming against Central Washington University last Wednesday night, where they defeated those Wildcats 82-67. So big win for them, going 1-0 in the GNAC. Now in-house, as I said, NNU. What do the Yellow Jackets have to do to keep that win streak alive?
You know, the Yellow Jackets are really going to have to work inside out and keep working through Austin Hudson in the paint. He's had a few big games the last times out, and he does a good job of kicking it out and getting some of the shooters open threes as well. So really just keep working through the offense for some of those open three-point opportunities, because as we know, the Jackets are a great shooting team. Absolutely.
Now the Crusaders come into this game. They dropped their last game against Seattle Pacific University. They've had a rough go of it so far. They're 1-6 overall on this season. What are they going to have to do if they want to slow down this Yellow Jackets team?
Well, you know, they're going to have to stop a lot of those long rebounds that can give some other opportunities for the Yellow Jacket shooters, and really just going to have to work. You know, a lot of their losses haven't been within the conference, so, you know, they're really just starting, and I'm sure that they'd love to steal one here from the Jackets and Alterowitz.
Now, we know that there's a lot of stiff competition in the GNAC conference, so Yellow Jackets got that first victory. Now they have an opportunity to go 2-0 overall in the conference. How big exactly is it to get those conference wins here early? And after this game, they have a break.
Well, it's huge because you have something to build upon going into the break rather than kind of going back to the drawing board with 2 losses or even 1-1. You know that you're doing some things good and you can build upon those things and know that you're, you know, going to have success with those things going into the conference season.
Definitely. Well, it's really cold outside here in Billings. It's around -20, but things are heating up here inside Alterowitz Gymnasium as we get set for tip-off. We're about 3 minutes away from that. We're going to send you out to mid-court. Upon our return, it's the national anthem, starting lineups, and then it's game night here in Alterowitz.
In a season.
Yeah, Coach Stevens, he jokingly said, Caleb, you are the second best passer ever to be at MSUB. Coach Stevens holds the record for number of assists here at MSUB. And so, yeah, great joke between those two. But Caleb Hatcher, we call him the facilitator because he just sees everything out there. Yeah, and they played their best basketball we've seen them play all season against Seattle Pacific University. Lost in double overtime. Austin Hudson inside with 27 points in that game. They did everything that they could to try and fight off that SPU team, but they just couldn't get it done as some key players fouled out. So they're really going to need those same performances from their leadership on the team with Caleb Hatcher, Jonathan Meshna, Austin Hudson inside. Those guys are going to have to step up as we get head towards conference play. Coach, what are your players saying right now at this point in the season? What's the talk in the locker room? What's the team chemistry like? Where does this team see themselves going?
It's a great group of guys. You know, that's the toughest thing. You know, I like coaching them. It's a good group of guys tonight.
Well, the Yellow Jackets have actually dropped their last 3 games, and so they really need to get back to their fundamentals. We saw 2 of their lead seniors step up in the last game against Western Oregon. Caleb Hatcher had 28 points, Jonathan Meshna with 24, and they still weren't able to get a victory. So it's really got to be a full team effort for this team. And as you talked about, both of these teams come into tonight around the bottom of the GNAC, so they're going to be fighting to get back into contention.
And now the starting lineup for your MSU Billings Yellow Jackets, Jake.
All right, as the lights go off here in Alterowitz Gymnasium, we're going to start out this lineup with a 6'7" junior forward out of Salt Lake City, Utah, number 44, Austin Hudson. 6'6" junior guard out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, number 32, Chase Miller. 6'6" senior all the way from Frankfurt, Germany, number 21, Jonathan Meshna. 6'2" senior guard out of Portland, Oregon, number 12, Devon Wallace. And rounding out that lineup for your Yellow Jackets, 5'11" senior guard out of San Diego, California, number 1, Caleb Hatcher. And the game's underway. Hudson controlling the tip. Yellow Jackets take first possession, wearing their yellow uniforms, moving right to left across your screen. The Crusaders will be moving left to right. Hatcher at top with the ball, looking to reverse the floor to Meshna, now Wallace. And playing a little bit of a perimeter game here, looking to get something started. Meshna with the shot clock winding down to Dessen in the corner, and he's going to hit. Quick three for the Yellow Jackets, 35 seconds into this game. Tyler Nelson staying with the play, got the offensive board, was rejected, and Wallace finally up and in for the Yellow Jackets, puts them on the board with 2. Jake Letman here with head coach Kevin Wooden at the end of that game. Yellow Jackets come away victorious in this one. Tale of two halves, really, Coach, as you went into the locker room tied up with Central at halftime. Not shooting a very high percentage, but then came out in the second half and really just turned up the heat on this Wildcats team.
Yeah, it was a tough first half. So it's a good win. Any GNAC wins very good, and we have a target on our backs now. It's no secret that we have a good team, so we're going to get the best shot. And
how do you feel about having a target on your best when you have all these teams that are playing you now want to give you their best effort, really, I would say, especially with extra motivation that your team is playing so hot right now?
Well, I think it's a great thing because if that means you're in first place, that's where we want to be. So if we take their best shot and can get it done, then that's more power to our players. So it's just one at a time, and I think it's been going really well, but we've won some games lately in different ways, and I think that's what you have to do down the stretch. So we'll take our game on the road this week and hopefully get it done there as well.
All right, Coach. Well, I had a question in from a fan, and that fan actually being your daughter, Kayleen, and she wants to know why you're not wearing your pink shoes to match assistant coach Nate Harris's.
Well, I just felt that tonight I had kind of a pink shirt, and I just didn't want to overdo it.
Well, we will certainly be pushing to get people out here to support that. Before those games, though, you head on the road next week against Western Oregon and then St. Martin's, 2 conference games. Do you have any insight as to those 2 games coming up?
They'll just be tough battles. We'll fly out early Wednesday morning. Last year, Western Oregon upset us down there, so that's definitely fresh in our players' mind. We know that we have to come to play in this league.
And not only did you not shoot 12% in the second half, but you guys came out firing with a lot of life. And what kind of adjustments did you make at the half?
It's just confidence. I think, especially on the offensive end. And then, once you start playing really good defense, I just feel like your offense, builds off of it. So it's, it's really important never to give up on your offense. But the only way to get your offense going is to play, solid defense and get those steals and, shut them down on the offensive end and, turn around and, bring our offensive game, back.
And speaking about that confidence, is there anything that you feel like your team can't do out there on the court?
No.
You guys seem to do it all.
Yeah, there might be some